Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Talk English freely.
Hey Brian, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up?
Do you ever think back to your school days and miss them, or are you glad those days are over?
That's an interesting question. Honestly, it's a bit of both. There are definitely things I miss about school, like having fewer responsibilities and spending time with friends every day. But there are also things I don't miss at all, like exams and homework.
I feel the same way. School was such a unique time in life, wasn't it?
It really was.
Well, that's actually perfect because today we're talking about school and education.
That's right, and hello to everyone watching. Welcome to Talk English Freely. I'm Brian. And this is Jessica.
We're here to help you practice your English listening through natural, everyday conversations. Nothing formal, nothing scripted, just two people talking about real topics.
Exactly. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us.
And if you're a regular viewer, welcome back. We always appreciate you being here.
Before we get into the conversation, if you enjoy these videos and find them helpful, please consider giving us a like.
Yes, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps us continue making content for you.
All right, let's talk about school and education. Jessica, here's my first question for you.
Go ahead.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Oh, that's a fun question. My favorite subject was probably English, which makes sense considering what we're doing right now. I always loved reading books, writing essays, and analyzing literature in class. There was something really satisfying about discussing the themes and meanings in novels and poems. And I had some really great English teachers who made the subject come alive. I also enjoyed history quite a bit because I loved learning about different time periods and understanding how events from the past shaped the world we live in today.
That's great. It sounds like you were really engaged with those subjects. Did you always know you wanted to work with English and language, or did that come later?
I think it developed gradually over time. When I was younger, I didn't really think about careers or what I wanted to do professionally because I was just focused on getting through school. But as I got older and took more advanced English classes, I started to realize how much I genuinely enjoyed working with language and communication. It felt natural to pursue something related to that after I graduated, even though the specific path wasn't always clear.
That makes sense. It's interesting how our interests in school can sometimes shape our future careers, even if we don't realize it at the time.
Absolutely. What about you, Brian? What was your favorite subject when you were in school?
I really enjoyed math and science, particularly physics. I liked the logical, problem-solving aspect of those subjects where there were clear right and wrong answers. I found it satisfying to work through a difficult equation or understand how something in the natural world worked. I also appreciated that there wasn't as much subjectivity or interpretation involved compared to subjects like English or history, where answers could be more open to debate.
That's interesting because that's exactly what I didn't like about math. I always struggled with it because I preferred subjects where you could be more creative and express your own ideas.
Yeah, I can see that. Different people are drawn to different types of thinking and learning. That's why it's good that schools offer a variety of subjects so students can find what resonates with them.
Definitely. Okay, here's another question. Did you have a favorite teacher or someone who really made an impact on you?
I did, actually. I had a physics teacher in high school who was absolutely excellent. He had this way of explaining complex concepts in really simple, understandable terms, and he genuinely cared about whether his students were learning and understanding the material. He would stay after class to help anyone who was struggling, and he made the subject interesting by showing us real-world applications of what we were learning. He's one of the main reasons I developed such a strong interest in science.
That's wonderful. Great teachers really can make such a huge difference in a student's life and educational experience.
They absolutely can. I still remember him decades later, which shows how much of an impact he had. What about you, Jessica? Did you have any teachers who stood out to you?
I had an English teacher in high school who I absolutely adored. She was so passionate about literature and really encouraged us to think critically and form our own opinions about what we read. She created this really supportive classroom environment where everyone felt comfortable sharing their ideas, even if they were different or unconventional. She also gave really thoughtful feedback on our writing and genuinely wanted to help us improve as writers and thinkers. I credit her with helping me develop my love for reading and writing.
That's really nice. Teachers like that are truly special.
They really are. All right, here's another one. What did you think about homework when you were a student? Did you do it regularly, or were you more of a procrastinator?
Honestly, I was pretty disciplined about homework. I usually did it as soon as I got home from school because I didn't like having it hanging over my head. I found that if I put it off until later in the evening, I would be more tired and it would take longer to complete. So I developed this habit of just getting it done early so I could relax and do other things without worrying about it.
Wow, that's impressive. I was definitely more of a procrastinator.
Really?
Yeah, I would often wait until the last minute to do assignments, especially if they were for subjects I didn't enjoy. I would convince myself that I worked better under pressure, but honestly, I think I just didn't have great time management skills back then. It caused me a lot of unnecessary stress, and looking back, I wish I had been more organized and proactive about getting my work done earlier.
That's understandable. A lot of students struggle with procrastination. It's a hard habit to break, especially when you're young.
It really is. I eventually got better at it in college, but high school was rough.
At least you improved.
Yeah, thankfully. Okay, here's a different kind of question. Do you think the education system prepares students well for real life, or do you think it's missing something?
That's a thought-provoking question. I think the education system does a decent job of teaching academic knowledge and basic skills like reading, writing, and math. However, I do think it's missing some practical life skills that would be really valuable for students to learn. For example, I don't think most schools teach enough about financial literacy, like how to budget money, understand taxes, or manage credit. They also don't always teach practical skills like cooking, basic home maintenance, or how to navigate professional situations like job interviews.
I totally agree with that. I felt really unprepared for a lot of adult responsibilities when I first graduated because school didn't cover those topics.
Right. I had to learn a lot of that stuff on my own through trial and error, which was frustrating.
Same here.
What do you think, Jessica? Do you think schools are missing something important?
I think you hit on some really good points. I would add that I also think schools could do a better job teaching emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills, like how to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, work in teams, and manage stress and emotions. Those are such important skills for success in both personal and professional life. But they're not really emphasized in traditional education. Students are expected to just figure those things out on their own, which isn't always effective.
That's a really good point. Emotional intelligence is incredibly important, and it's often overlooked in favor of purely academic achievement.
Exactly. I think a more well-rounded education would include both academic knowledge and practical life skills.
I agree.
Okay, here's another question. Did you go to college or university after high school?
Yes, I did. I went to a state university and studied engineering. It was a very different experience from high school because there was a lot more independence and responsibility. No one was checking to make sure I went to class or did my homework. So I had to be self-motivated and disciplined. It was challenging at times, but I think it was a valuable experience that helped me grow as a person and prepared me for the working world.
That's great. College definitely requires a different level of maturity and self-management than high school.
It really does. What about you, Jessica? Did you go to college?
Yes, I did. I went to a liberal arts college and studied English literature and communication. Like you said, it was very different from high school in terms of the level of independence and the depth of the material we covered. I really enjoyed the intellectual challenge of my classes and the opportunity to dive deep into topics I was passionate about. I also appreciated the freedom to choose my own classes and create my own schedule, which made the experience feel more personalized and meaningful.
That sounds like a great experience. Liberal arts colleges tend to have a different atmosphere than large universities.
Yeah, it was a smaller, more intimate environment, which I really liked. The class sizes were small, and I got to know my professors pretty well, which made a big difference.
That's nice.
All right, here's another one. Do you think college is necessary for everyone, or do you think there are other valid paths to success?
I don't think college is necessary for everyone. It really depends on what career path someone wants to pursue and what their goals are. For some careers, like engineering, medicine, or law, a college degree is absolutely necessary. But for other careers, like trades, entrepreneurship, or certain creative fields, college might not be required or even the best option. I think the important thing is for people to find a path that works for them and aligns with their interests and strengths.
I completely agree with that perspective. College isn't the only path to success, and I think society is slowly starting to recognize that more and more.
Right. Trade schools, apprenticeships, online courses, and self-directed learning are all valid alternatives that can lead to fulfilling and successful careers.
Absolutely. The most important thing is that people continue learning and developing their skills throughout their lives, regardless of whether they have a traditional college degree.
Well said.
Okay, last question. If you could go back and change one thing about your education, what would it be?
That's tough. If I could change one thing, I think I would have taken more risks and tried more diverse classes instead of just sticking to subjects I was already comfortable with. I played it safe a lot of the time and focused mainly on math and science because those were my strengths. But looking back, I wish I had explored more subjects like art, music, or philosophy just to broaden my horizons and develop a more well-rounded perspective.
That's a thoughtful answer. It's never too late to explore those things now, though.
That's true. I could always take a class or pick up a new hobby.
Exactly.
What about you, Jessica? What would you change?
If I could change one thing, I think I would have been less stressed about grades and more focused on actually learning and enjoying the material. I put so much pressure on myself to get perfect grades that I sometimes lost sight of the actual purpose of education, which is to learn and grow. I wish I had given myself more grace and recognized that it's okay to make mistakes and not be perfect all the time. That would have made my educational experience much more enjoyable and less anxiety-inducing.
That's a really mature reflection. A lot of students put too much pressure on themselves when it comes to grades.
Yeah, it's something I've learned with time and perspective. Well, Brian, I think we've covered education pretty thoroughly today.
We really have. It's been a great conversation.
I agree. I hope everyone enjoyed hearing us talk about school and education.
Me too.
Thanks so much for watching today, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed our discussion about school and education.
If you did, we'd love to hear from you. What was your favorite subject in school? Did you have a teacher who made a big impact on you? Do you think the education system prepares students well for life?
Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We read them all and love hearing your perspectives.
And if this video helped you improve your English listening skills, please give it a like.
It really makes a difference and helps us keep creating content.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so you can catch all our future conversations.
We've got more great topics lined up for you.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Keep learning and stay curious.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.